congratulations with your film called Wallet.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Wow, you guys are bringing us the story about a world that a lot of us still till today, and I will include myself and kind of embarrassing. It's hard to wrap my brain around, and you're giving us a little 101 on crypto here.
Good. Yeah, that was the idea was we wanted to provide affordable financial advice to more people. So,
Yeah, this is a self-help business finance book.
yeah.
Well, I get maybe continuation a little bit from your documentary. This is no financial advice.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was just a sort of tangential co-producer, but the characters in that movie really did inspire us a lot. And the just the both the desperation but also the optimism and kind of like gleeful, like, diving into the insanity of the characters, just to try to make a better life, but simultaneously get themselves deeper in the hole is it's like an endless well of material to pull from.
Josh, about your character that's the one that's pretty the pro in this game of business, and gives also a little lecture. But I admire the character because at no point does he show anybody how scared he is and frightened.
Oh, it's a great point. Yeah. It was definitely a little bit of a mind exercise to play both sides of the situation. One being that, he's tied up and has a gun in his face, and the other being that he's kind of a devious baddie. Cutter would often say that he wanted the character to feel like a wolf in sheep's clothing. So you don't exactly know where you're at with this guy. Is he just kind of the victim of circumstance and these big scary physical specimens are banging down his door and he's just the meek nerd who's being assaulted, or do things twist and kind of you see the other side of him, and that was obviously what made it super fun to play, and a great script from Cutter and John Hybe, just kind of the what you dream about is getting to play in roles like this.
Yeah, I want that defense mechanism because I mean, if we all had that, we'd be able to rule the world somehow.
I think beta blockers, maybe I hear good things about beta blockers.
Okay, okay. Um, let's talk about a little bit about another character that I feel it's the residence, it's the home, and why a home like this? If someone's out in hiding, I mean, do they really want to make themselves so visible?
Well, in the kind of backstory of the film is that he's just sort of hiding out there. That this isn't like supposed to be his primary home. It's sort of like one of his properties, or I forget what he calls it. Is it one of his like impulse
Impulse
mansions?
mansions.
Yeah. So I think it was appropriate that it was a Gilded Age mansion because of what that represents in terms of this sort of unregulated period of American greed. So it was the appropriate mansion for him to be found and caught in. And it also is just a really visceral and cinematic like setting to work with as well. But it has obviously like this thematic value that we were trying to go for.
And let's talk a little bit about the psychology. Uh, your character Josh toys with a lot of it. So tell me about getting to play those scenes with the different cast members.
Just the most fun. I don't generally get to be a baddie. I typically am more in the comedy world, and typically either a good guy or a clueless guy. And so getting to be trusted with a role like this by Cutter was amazing. And the other actors in this movie, Raúl Castillo, Melanie Diaz, Tony Cavallero, are some of my favorite actors, both personally and professionally. I'm just huge fans of all of them. And getting to just sit in that room and kind of play tennis and go back and forth, and Cutter gave us the freedom to improvise and try things and mess around. And you know, they're also talented, and Cutter is has such great vision that it was really just show up and enjoy it. And that's kind of what you dream about when you're going into an indie film is that it's this kind of great, satisfying, creatively fulfilling work.
Before getting into this, well, I don't think this question really goes for Cutter because he's already familiar in this crypto world. But Josh, how familiar were you?
I probably knew about like as little as you can know about it, but I did know a lot about the GameStop situation because a friend of mine was involved in that very closely. So I sort of had an idea of the kind of themes surrounding it, and then once I started preparing for the role, I spent a lot of time digging into some of these personalities, these Elizabeth Holmes CEO types, people like Martin Shkreli, the pharma bro, and other of these kind of like nefarious tech CEOs who are really just you know, they're kind of just snake oil salesmen. And what is the psychology behind those people, and the greed and the willingness to steal?
Cutter, with all the knowledge you have now, you're like an expert. So would you recommend it?
Breaking into a house to get revenge, or
Oh, not that part, but getting involved, investing.
I think that that's a personal choice. I think that there is a lot of really interesting projects that are done in the crypto space that are um, that are like kind of part and parcel with like the internet as a culture and always like leading innovation. So in terms of, you know, like more practical use cases, but it's also just such a wild west. Like I don't recommend it for anybody who's not kind of like ready for the ride of their life. So it's like a place that represents innovation and insanity.
Well, after watching this, I think I'm still gonna opt out.
That's how I feel.
It's a dark world. But thank you so much for your time. Congratulations with the film, and thank you for the 101.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Bye bye.